Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of the Multidimensional Wealth Formula. It's good. It's good. We've got a lot of good things still to come, and I've been getting a lot of really amazing messages just from day 1. As always, screen, camera, I'm watching you guys, but the comments I read on my computer, so I'm just going to open them up now. I've been reading your homework from yesterday. It's good. It's really good. There's lots of pieces that I'm going to speak to. Okay. And just as you're coming onto the live, what was your biggest aha yesterday? What was kind of the biggest thing that came through that you went, oh, I heard that differently? Or through doing the homework, what already has shifted for you? Because sometimes just naming the thing is enough to cement the shift. Hi Tams, Jan, Lidis, Storm, also Soredo actually. Your Facebook, Soredo, is Storm Soredo, and I always get confused, right? Because some of you guys have different names on your Facebook to your actual names, and I'm watching the lives, I'm like, oh! So please forgive me if I say a weird version of your name for a second. Hi Dana, hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone, okay. This is exciting. Hi Emma, beautiful. Michelle, oh Michelle, hello darling. We're going to be talking about high-level entrepreneurial blocks. But these blocks can really appear wherever you are in your journey. I'm teaching this because I did all of the mindset stuff. I did all the Bob Proctor stuff. I did all the affirmation stuff. And there just was something that work didn't shift for me. And the bigger the business became, and the more successful I became, the more of this stuff started being activated. And it took me a chunk of time to understand what was happening. Now, I've already been teaching this behind the scenes in the Global Uni, but today feels important because hopefully, and this is my intention for you, I'm going to explain this in a way that makes blocks land for you, even if they may be complex in their nature, in a way they're still simple. And I hope that that's what you get from today. Now, I'm aware that we've got a wide variety of income here. So we've got people at the beginning, we've got people very experienced. I'm aware that we've got a wide variety of people in their stages of personal development. Some clients come to me and they're super duper experienced and they've done 1 trillion programs already. And for some people, we're the first program that they ever do. And so a little disclaimer before I begin is that trust that you get what you need to know in this moment. We always receive what we can receive depending on our level of consciousness in that moment. So if you listened yesterday and all of it was new for you, but you got one thing and you're like, just that one thing can create a shift and a change for me, trust it. Okay? Trust it. It's enough. Don't worry about what you didn't get and worry and focus on what did land. You can come back to the replays. Okay? This is what I would call quite an advanced class that we're doing for a free event. It's not a beginner's class, but it doesn't mean that just because if you are newer, which I know a lot of you aren't, that it's a mismatch. It just means you're going to receive and understand what you do in that moment. And as your awareness expands, you'll understand more, right? Hello, Chantel, Jan, Hildegard, Sandra, Priya. Who else have we got? Already shifting, landing differently. Mind, body, soul connection. Love that for you. Hello, Kim. Kim just joined the Global Uni this morning, which is so exciting. And I know I owe some of you messages back, but we've got free events. There's quite a lot that happens behind the scenes, so I can take a wee bit longer. But Kim, I'm so excited that you have joined us. And Samantha just upgraded to the certification, and Jasmine joined the certification with Hildegard, who just, we've got all of you guys joining us, which is so awesome. Soredo, she shares that the contrast is the blessing. That's what you got. Takeaways are modern knowledge with ancient wisdom, power of the soul. The amount that you experience success is bound by your willingness to surrender. If you're doing everything right and not getting the results you want, it's a call to go deeper. Oh, I love the distilled nature of your points. This is awesome, Hannah. Your success lies in your unique blueprint, not someone else's teachings. Yeah, I'm very glad that that landed for you. Kim says that she's excited. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this, okay? Like I always say, it's going to be about an hour. We could go over 5 minutes. You guys, most of you know what I'm like now. I will always choose making sure the teaching is complete over exact timings, right? So it's usually around an hour. It could go over a few minutes. If you have to leave at the hour, I'm not offended. Go and do your lives and you can watch the rest of the replay, okay? Couple of things that I want to share that are really, really important that I did mention yesterday, but we didn't go into it much, is that there are 2 giveaways. The first giveaway is the sharing giveaway. So many of you guys have shared. We've had emails, we've had messages. Really, really awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Actually, to bring all of the messages into one place, because sometimes it's a bit complex, where we've got someone sharing that they've done the giveaway in a WhatsApp thread and someone sharing that they've done it in an email. What I'll probably do on Thursday or Friday is I'll say, if you've shared with 5 people, please just put an emoji on this thread, and we'll trust that you guys will be honest, because we're practicing integrity as we build, right? So we're going to do it that way. And then early next week, when we've got a bonus session on Monday, we've got bonus sessions, I just haven't told you about them yet. We will announce the giveaway for the sharing giveaway. We've also got the all-in giveaway, which is basically, if you watch every session for the first 3 days, or I might add the 4th day. If you watch every session until Friday and you do every single homework, okay, then you're in to win that, because you've put in effort, you've done the work, right? It's like, you get to receive something. That's how it works. The universe is perfect, okay? So those are the 2 giveaways. Something that I'd like to also request or ask, I've just finished our mastermind call today, the Top 1 Club, and we, not always, but we sometimes do, you know, come in and ask the mastermind something that you need, and often connections or, you know, bits of wisdom really support people in their journey. I believe that we get to grow together, right? And a big thing that comes up for us in our success journeys is belonging, right? And being around people that get it. I'm not going to go into that now yet. But my ask is that if you feel that you would like to, please take a screenshot, a photo, grab a quote from the training and share it on your social media. So many people find us through you guys. Like, it's unbelievable. It's like the majority of our clients, the majority of people that are called to this work is because they've either come through a direct referral or they found us through something one of our clients has shared. And it happens all of the time. So I'm so honestly very grateful when you do take a couple minutes of your day and you do that. Okay. So thank you in advance. All right, let's go. We're going to start. And like I said, today we're talking about common blocks for entrepreneurs, the number 1 like energetic block that spiritual entrepreneurs face, really, right? But before I explain what that is and the way that we look at it through the lens of integrative healing, let's play a game. Let's do a little exercise, okay? This exercise is, I'm going to say a sentence and you're going to finish the sentence in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, okay? Get it in the chat, get seen, let yourself be seen in your messy humanity and your imperfection, okay? That can be a thing as well. I want you to finish it. Now, some people, when I do this activity in the Global Uni, they go, oh, but what if I get it wrong? What if I don't say the right thing? What if, you know, I'm meant to have a better answer? It's not about that. What we're trying to do is that you've got your conscious mind, that's who you think that you are consciously, and then you've got your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. I use those 2 words interchangeably, right? And in the subconscious mind, we've got all of your programs that are creating your reality without you realizing, right? And so we want to go through conscious mind to unconscious mind very rapidly. And so I want you to write the first thing that comes up, not a good answer. I don't want it to be a good answer. I want you to be shocked at what comes out of your mouth and go, oh my God, I believe that. Because very often We understand spiritual teachings here, but because they don't exist in the body or in the subconscious, there is no change, right? And so understanding something intellectually in terms of, you know, awareness is fantastic, but it's not the it's not the full story. It's not the work, really. A lot of people have read a lot of spiritual books, but because they've not actually gone into transformation, I'm not saying that it is you guys, right? Then the results have been slow, okay? So I'm going to say a sentence, and I just want you to finish it in the chat. Having everything I want is dangerous because... Having everything I want is dangerous because... Yeah. I'm going to start reading these out, okay? I could lose it. Yeah. So many people don't allow themselves to have savings because they are terrified of losing them. And their subconscious thinks that the pain of loss of money is greater than never having it at all. It gives me nothing to work towards. That was a fear for me. When I got over 7 figures, I thought, oh God, well, what happens now? I've been working towards this for this chunk of time. Who am I if I've got it? And that was a micro crisis for me. And then I had to dream, right? Much bigger. I had to raise the bar and realize actually the joy is in the pursuit, but that's a conversation for another day. Then my life is at risk. Yeah, like we're already going to go a bit deeper than I wanted to for the intro, but so many of us have got past life and karmic things where we've experienced huge amounts of suffering, either in previous lives or in our family or in our ancestry, or people that we've seen collectively of having it all and then everything going wrong, right? That we feel actual fear and danger in our system going towards what we want and receiving what we want, right? It feels like an actual threat to our systems. And so when we're in this fear state, we think, oh, we don't know what to do. We're not clear, that, you know, we struggle, we procrastinate, we don't take steps, right? But actually what's behind that is not, a lot of people, my clients, they say, oh, I'm lazy. No, you're not fucking lazy. No one's lazy, right? Because life wants to move through you. Life moves through you, right? That's how it works. So if that isn't happening and there isn't movement and there isn't momentum, it's because there's resistance, there's fear, there's tension somewhere. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you're weak. It's not any of that stuff. It's that something's blocking the way. And that's the work that we do today, right? Listening on the go tonight, kids having my life, but I'm definitely going to recap later. That's awesome that you're listening on the go, Kelly. And I always say to my clients, you know, we do lots of sessions at the Global Uni, that sometimes the best way to listen to something is doing something. I know Melanie, who's a long-term client, she's always in her car. She might not be in her car right now, but my head Emily's always in her car. Lots of our people listen to the sessions gardening or they're cooking or whatever it is. I don't believe that learning is best done very anxiously sat at a desk, feeling like you're terrified that you're going to get it wrong, right? Because that's a life intention. You're welcome to go for a walk as you listen to this, right? And then communicate and share as you go. You're welcome to have a bath or do whatever you guys want. I believe that relaxation is the way and relaxation is the key. And so to allow that, we have to break all of these shoulds, right? So cool. Yeah, Dana's put responsibility, massive block. If I allow myself to be successful, if I allow myself to have the business, if I allow myself to have the employees, then I'm responsible for more people. This has definitely come up for me. And my clients have heard me speaking about this. Of judgment and critique and rejection. Yeah, because if you become successful in every area, guess what? Now you're unrelatable. People start to reject you. And then it's like, oh, who am I if people reject me? It's a great one. It means I'll never settle for anything less than alignment. Okay, I love that answer, Hannah. Andrea, I could lose gratitude. Yes, exactly. If I have everything, I could lose gratitude. And then I'm not a humble person. And then who am I? That's awesome. That's a good one, right? Others will be judgmental of me, yeah? It would be too much to handle, yeah? Okay? It's, yeah, too much to handle. I'll lose my freedom because I want more. Do you know what the number one block I find in people having a successful relationship? I mean, I don't mean people that are in a relationship. I mean people that are struggling to meet someone, is that they've got this tie in their subconscious mind, right? Whereas if they fall in love, they'll lose their freedom, right? And so if you are someone that on a personality level is like, I am free, you know, like that's the most important thing, you will either only attract people that prove to you that it's better to be single, so there will be very disastrous or challenging or limiting relationships, right? Or you'll never meet anyone because you're so terrified to let someone in, right? Even energetically, because you'd lose your freedom, that it's like whatever you do, how many dates you go on, you never meet them. So it's interesting things because we think that these belief systems that we've got, I love freedom, I'm a freedom seeker, whatever it is, we you know, oh, I want to be free, I don't want responsibility. We think that they're positive belief systems, but very often they're blocks in disguise, right? Zoe, I could lose it, yeah. Everything is still a thing and not a state of mind. And why is that a bad thing, Emma? I'm curious. Why does your mind say that that's a bad thing? Yes, Natalie, what if I get all of the clients and I mess things up? Let me tell you something, you will. We all mess things up. But in our mind, the fact that we think that messing something up is bad is what stops us from trying. You know, big blocks that came up from my clients last week was like, but if I do it and I get it wrong and then I make a mistake, or, you know, we're still blaming ourselves for a mistake that we made a fucking year ago, right? You will mess things up in life. I mess things up. We all do, right? But like, how do you learn if there's not data, if there's not experience? So the block isn't that you might mess things up. The block is thinking that messing things up is a bad thing. Samantha, sorry I'm late. I was in a meditation, letting go for rebirth. Yeah, Samantha is joining the certification and she's letting go of like so many patterns around, you know, control and things and all of this stuff. So I'm not surprised that you're processing. Exactly. If I get it all, I'll feel pressured and then I'll feel overwhelmed. And if I'm pressured and I'm overwhelmed, I might not be healthy and I might lose my health. And I don't want to lose my health, so I don't allow myself to be successful. Yeah. The unknown. Oh, how many of us have got this, right? There's a saying in Spanish, which I can't remember, which is excellent. Not because I don't speak the language, but because, you know, you get on a camera and sometimes the most important things are just like, I'm going over here. You'll remember me the second you turn the camera off, right? But the saying in Spanish is something like, it's better, the English version is, it's better a devil that you know than a devil that you don't know. And this is a massive block for people. It's like, well, I don't like what I've got and I know that I want more, but at least I know it, right? And that's better than going into, you know, a completely new world, right? Even if the new world is better. And this is a big thing that stops us transforming and receiving the things that we desire, because your body's saying, go this way, do this, you're getting the hits, right? But fear says, but I won't know it. And if I don't know it, it could be bad. So stay here, stay still. Yeah. Cool. 2 years ago, I had the fear of leaving my family and children after I become rich and successful. So this is a big one, right? Will my family change? Will my romantic relationship change? This is a big one for me. You know, I've made significantly more money than my partner for all of our relationship. And now it's way more balanced than it was at the beginning. And a big fear for me was like, oh my God, if I keep blowing up and being so successful, what if I just become beyond what makes us a match anymore? And that really frightened me for a long time. So yes, right? It's not true. It's a mental block. It's an energetic block, but we do experience it, right? Yeah, Sandra, if I allow myself to have it all, I'll be overwhelmed. Yeah. I feel like I show others so much grace, but when I make a mistake, because that's how I want it to feel, right? Yeah, but when I make a mistake, that's not, yeah, that's awesome. Cool, next question. I'm scared to allow life to be good because, we'll just do two. Two's enough. I'm scared to allow life to be good because. That is a fucking cracking one, Samantha. Yeah, I can't stay in victim mode. So many people are actually terrified of taking responsibility for their life. It's a big one that's come up with my clients before of like, well, if I'm responsible and it doesn't go well, then I'm the one that's bad, right? And it's so much better and easier if I blame it on someone else. That can be an interesting one. Yeah, Jan, I'm not worthy. A classic. We love it. Sandra, who am I to have it all? Yeah, who am I to have it all? I didn't come from that. How can I have it now, right? Yeah. I don't deserve it. Yeah. What will I work to after that? Exactly. So many of us have only known yearning and we've not known having, that the idea of receiving what we want feels like a threat to the nervous system. Bonkers, right? But true. Because, oh, they're going so fast I can't keep up. Because I'm not used to peace, not coming with a price. Okay, that's awesome. So many of you have got that as well, right? You can only be successful if you suffer. Others could be jealous of me and reject me. Yeah, big one. Then who am I? Who am I when I'm not fixing myself? Am I perfect then? That's awesome. That's so hilarious. And then the cycle of like, oh, I need to find something else to change. Yeah. That means that I'm not responsible. Oh, I'm curious why you're not responsible. I don't know who I would be if I had it all. You're speaking, guys, to what happens when we go on a success journey. The biggest sacrifice that you have to make on your success journey is your old identity, right? You know, when I began this work, I was a student. I finished my university degree and then I carried on studying for many, many, many years, right? And I was always the student. I was always the good girl. I was always the high performer, but as a student, right? And the business has initiated me into leadership, and that has been fucking terrifying. And I've been going through this massive rebirth, right? Behind the scenes of like, wait a minute, I'm the one that leads, right? And like, that's been a massive identity shift. But I understood at some point, if I kept seeing myself as the student and not as the leader, that I was going to keep capping my results to less than what my teachers had achieved to date, right? So it's very interesting. You do have to lose who you are now to become who you need to be to have what you want. And there is a moment of surrender in that, right? I don't know my definition of good and what that really looks like. I'm unsure of myself. Okay, perfect, awesome. But that's also a program, and that's awareness. I missed the question. Can you repeat? Yeah, the question is, just quickly for those of you guys, I'm scared to allow life to actually be good because. I'm scared to allow good. Oh yes, and there, because people will keep on suffering. This is a big one, especially if some of you guys, like, the coolest thing about our community is that it's very diverse, like sometimes in a humorous way. Whether we're talking about ages or we're talking about like different industries, even though obviously there is more of an online space kind of vibe, right? But also cultures. And the reality is some of you guys are born in countries where there is a huge amount of suffering. And so we feel guilty, like if I allow myself to be so good, am I abandoning those that are suffering? Does it make me a bad person? Right? It doesn't. But sometimes we can think that, and so we can't allow ourselves, we can receive a little bit, but not too much, because then we go in that moral contemplation, which is incorrect, but it still feels true. Cool. Yeah, where is there to go if everything is already perfect? Yeah. It can't be so easy, guilty than having more than others. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Okay. So it's this kind of stuff that we're speaking to today, okay? This kind of stuff. We've been sold a lie in our society, and that lie tells us that success is built from the mind. That if you find the right plan that tells you do this, do that, do this, do that, then you'll be successful. And that lie is perpetuated sometimes by the online industry. Because like I spoke to yesterday, people are waking up to the 7-step plan to becoming a millionaire doesn't work for everybody. And yesterday we discussed the reasons why, right? So if it's not just action that creates the results that you desire, what does? And we started to answer that question yesterday, right? There's got to be movement. You've got to learn skills. We talked about that. Clear emotional, mental wounds, anchor into soul journey, right? And manifest with energetics. That was the simple answer to that question yesterday. But today we're just going to exist within the emotional and mental body. We're just going to look at, well, what are those silent wounds that can stop your success that people aren't giving voice to? Because there's a lot of people that are doing everything right when it comes to manifestation. I have people say to me, but I bought The Secret. And The Secret said, if I say, oh, please, thank you, can I have money? Then it happens. The Secret said, if I sit down and I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful for a loving relationship, and then my wife left me. And so people are like, well, I don't believe energetics. I don't believe energetics because I've been listening to Abraham Hicks for the last 2-3 years and nothing's fucking changed. And the truth is, Abraham Hicks isn't wrong, right? The Secret isn't wrong. It's an energetic text. But you can do all of the manifestation that you want. You can do all the fucking visualization. You can do all the affirmations. But there can still be wounding that's slowing you down. If you believe that success will mean the loss of your freedom, you will not let yourself have the success. Or you'll have the success in a very unpleasant way. Like I said to you guys yesterday, I have 2 types of clients. I have people that are on their success journey. They want to scale. And that can be at very, very different financial levels, but they want to scale it a way where, you know, soul, body, health, energetics, all of this is taken on board. But I've also got another group of people. It's a smaller group of people, but it's still a group of people that exist, right? And they're the people that have got all of the things, but they can't enjoy it. And they can't enjoy it because they built it with their sheer force and will and determination. And that is an extraordinary feat of human potentiality. It's amazing what humans can do when they really decide. But there's not an enjoyment in having it. There's not a pleasure in having it. It's because they didn't stop and look at the emotional and mental body. They didn't clean out. And I'll share my personal example of this as we go on. They didn't clean out the wounds, the patterns, right? It's like, I don't garden, right? But Melanie, who's one of my clients, was talking about gardening today. So I'm going to use a garden example. So imagine you're like, I'm going to grow a flower bed, right? I'm going to plant hydrangeas. I can't wait. I'm going to get lots of different colours and it's going to be awesome. And so you go to your flower bed and it's covered in weeds because you've never, you know, de-weeded it in the whole time that you've had the flower bed. And you're like, fuck the weeds, I don't want to do that. That's boring work, that's heavy work, that's not fun work. What I'm going to do is go and plant my hydrangeas. And you plant your hydrangeas and those flowers bloom, they do bloom. And some of those really, really strong hydrangeas, they make it to full bloom, right? They do, through their determination, even though the environment that they've been planted in isn't ideal. But at the end, you've got a flower bed where you've got weeds, where you've got plants, and the beauty, the nectar, the awe of the hydrangeas isn't properly appreciated because you didn't clear the space. You got the result-ish. Maybe some hydrangeas didn't make it, maybe some did. But it's not in its magnificence that it could be if you paused to weed the bed. This bed represents your subconscious mind. The hydrangeas are the goals, the desires that want to come through you. I know a lot of people that have been very successful in business and have suffered a lot on the way. And I've had some experiences that have been challenging and painful, but I hope to speak to it in a different way for you guys today. The people that I know that are very successful, which are in all sorts of communities that I'm in, that aren't able to enjoy it, are people that wanted to just plant hydrangeas because they just wanted to get to the goal, and no one taught them that the bed, and some of you guys might be resonating with this as you listen to this now, that the bed had to be cleaned. We talked about this yesterday. You have the most incredible technology in your human body. To be a human being is an extraordinary thing. It is. The body is unbelievable. But we focus on the car, we focus on the business, we focus on the buildings that we live in. And we don't de-weed our subconscious mind, our body, the patterns, the karma from our soul. And we plant the hydrangeas and then we get annoyed. We can't enjoy it when patterns from the past keep appearing. And so the reason that we do it differently in the Global Uni, and the reason that I say that I teach a way of building success that brings along soul, healthy body, healthy relationships, is that during your success journey, your planting of your hydrangeas, you de-weed as you go. And these weeds are everything that you've just mentioned here. I'm scared of the unknown. What if I fail? What if I make a mistake? What if I'm rejected? What if I'm hurt? They're patterns, weeds that have been put in your subconscious mind. They are not true. They're viruses in your computer programming. And that virus sometimes is the only thing that's stopping you from having what you want. They're not who you are. The frightening thing about the personal work is that you will become someone extraordinary through it if you allow it. And sometimes we find our darkness and looking at our trauma more comfortable than going, wait a minute, there is someone extraordinary within me. But that's the work that we do in the Global Uni. The truth is, and let's take the business example. Let's say you want to fucking blow up on ads. You can. That's not a hard task. There are a trillion courses out there teaching ads. If you twiddle it enough, you can get it. You know what to do. Most of you know what to fucking do. But it's all of these weeds that's stopping your momentum. The weed that tells you if you invest that money, you could lose it. And if you lose it, then it's going to feel bad. And then right? The weed that tells you, yeah, but if you allow the success, you're going to get rejected and your family are going to go, who does she think that she is or he is, right? You know what to do. Most of you know what to do. Clarity, confusion, all of this very often is when we're in sabotage and we're scared. And sometimes what we're scared of isn't failing, it's it working. But no one's really speaking to that. And so what I'm speaking to with this metaphor of weeds are what I call the invisible threads that keep people silently stuck. Do you like the drama in that? I said to Tams, am I being dramatic the other day? And she goes, yes, but I know you, so I'm used to it. That's what she said to me. But you're also right in what you're saying. And I felt very affirmed. I am Spanish, I speak English like a Spanish person. And I used to have clients tell me that watching the sessions that I did with them was like going to watch like a telenovela on spirituality, right? But I like to use these visual examples because yes, I like to be dramatic, but also it gives you kind of a way to conceptualize it in your mind. So it takes it from being super duper esoteric to something that you can actually see. The example that I think of is, you know, a spider's web and you've got a fly that's stuck. That fly, right, could fly free. That fly is free, except these invisible, because spider's webs, if you think about it, they're kind of these invisible lines holding that fly in place. And very often we're going through our life and we're like, oh, if I was just had more willpower, if I was just more disciplined, if I was just less lazy. We're being so cruel to ourselves without realizing we're stuck in a spider's web. And what we need to do is clear away the web, and then the movement's going to come naturally, right? And so this is, again, why I'm going to speak tomorrow to emotions, because I teach business. I started more this year, and there will be a lot more of this going forward, business through the body. And so when we're in these chaos spirals, or we've got these big feelings coming up, or we're scared, what we want to do is we want to contract. But what you're doing is you're going, okay, I'm just going to stay in the spider's web because I'm a bit too scared to cut away the threads. Or what we're saying is I'm just going to push and force because that feels easier to me than actually clip away what was holding me in place in the first place. quick story on this, just 2 minutes. I've got a memory in my mind. We always use the survival strategy that's worked for us in the past. And very often we use it for too long when it doesn't make sense in our present. And Craig and I were on a walk. We've got 2 big pit bulls, and he got stuck in barbed wire. Craig is a physically big man, right? And so his survival strategy in life has been strength. That has clearly never been mine. Not because I'm better, but because I would fail, right? And so I've had to learn to survive. I've got to use my mind. I've got to use all of my other abilities, because if it came to a competition about who can go harder and who could be stronger, I would not win that, right? And he's stuck in this barbed wire, and his first impulse is, and he screams a word that I'm not going to repeat, which you guys can guess. Because I do say a lot of swear words here, so if there's one that I choose not to say, just guess it's that one, right? And I was looking at him, and it was almost cartoonesque to me. I thought, what is he doing? I could see it was just a little hook on the bag. And I just waited patiently for him to realise that this wasn't going to work. And I was like, darling, I just unhooked it. And in a second, he was free. Many of you are building businesses that way. You're so focused on, forward, I can't be lazy, and that's what the go business fucking world teaches you. I've been in those courses and those spaces, and you feel like resting for a fucking second is a sin. And yet, freedom is one unhooking away. Which is why in the Global Uni we spend so much time, right, on this type of clearing work. Unhooking you. When you unhook a pattern, you can run into the direction that you've been trying to reach into for years, maybe, with no avail in seconds. So what are the threads? Threads fit into 4 categories. There's so much more that I could say, and this is why I always say in these free events, like I feel like this free event's going to become some form of like School of IH, Global Uni, intensive, because there's so much more that I want to say, but let's stay to the point, Hannah. There's 4 different types of threads. The first type of threads that keep you stuck silently is negative previous experiences that you've had that have become limiting beliefs. So you can throw in the chat if something comes through for you as you hear this. Maybe you invested and you made a financial loss. And now you've got a belief system that investing money is a risk because it's not going to work for you. That's an invisible thread. It's stopping momentum. Like it's bold for me to say this. You have to invest, within the Global Uni, right? But if you want to have an expansive life, you're going to have to invest in learning business skills. You're going to have to invest in the internal work. Like you have to learn shit. Like you do, and it's not the same investing as looking at a YouTube tutorial. It's just not the same, right? So that then becomes a block because you're getting the hit. Do this, and you're going, no, I'm just going to stay in my fucking web. Or you're Craig and you're like, I'm just going to try and power through, right? Another one could be that maybe you had a failure. I've had a series of failures. Not failures, but like in business, there's been things that have happened that are not the way that I would like them to have happened. And then I created beliefs around it. Like, oh, well, maybe, one of the beliefs that came up, well, maybe you're not as good as business that you thought you were. Maybe you can't actually do this. Maybe you do need to tone your dreams down because maybe this is too hard. Maybe you're not meant to go that far. And this is where it's deceptive. It can sound logical. It can sound rational. It can sound like you're being such a responsible, safe person. You're not being a dreamer like all those woos up there. Oh, you're being grounded. Do you know what I mean? So it can sound, it's seductive, right? It's like, I'm responsible Sally. And I don't listen to my intuition anymore. I just blame myself for my past. So previous experiences that you've made limiting beliefs. Another one could be, this is a big fucking massive one. You hit the result. You have a 6-figure launch. You have a 7-figure launch. You make 1 million. You make 10 million. You make 100 grand. You make 50 grand. You make 20 grand. And you have a shit time. You have a shit time. Lots of people, big block, they become successful, but when they became successful, they were tired and they were depleted and they were burnt out and they were exhausted. And then their body goes, ooh, if I'm successful, I'm going to burn out and I don't want to. My values are that health is first. And so you go, oh, health is first, so I'm not going to try that hard. But really what that is sabotage in a really fucking funky mask. Still sabotage. Sabotage, right? It is sabotage. And so then you try to go for the goal, but the money never comes. And you've got all the skills because you've done it before, but the money never comes. And you go, oh, maybe the industry's changed, or maybe I've lost my magic touch. No, you fucking haven't. It's just that you had an experience of having what you want, and that experience came with pain. I'll share an example of mine in a second. And so you don't want to experience that pain, so subconsciously you're like, not going to let myself have it. Number 2, invisible threads. Beliefs from your family that have made you believe, right, that what you want is either bad, painful, or immoral. A classic, a favourite, right? Exactly, Chantel, I've got to be working all the time to be successful. That is not true. It's not true. I always use this delightful example. There is a lady on TikTok that made 200k from selling her farts in a jar. You do not have to be working all the time, nor do you have to be particularly intelligent, or do you really have to have a good fucking idea, right? And I like these examples. I don't recommend that as a business plan. That is not what I'm saying. Please do not misunderstand me, right? I'm just saying that that exists, that potentiality in the quantum field exists, okay? Second thing, threads. Belief systems from your family. One that I've heard many families have, and I had a friend that said this, of like, you know, yes, how the other half live. Or you're saying, I'm separate from money. You're saying how the other half live, they're over there, I'm over here, right? Like, I'm separate to money. Like, you know, you're literally putting success on the other side of the fence, right? This is a big one for me in my family, right? It was like, be successful, but stay so humble that your success doesn't make other people feel uncomfortable. And so when I was building the business, my dad was like, oh, this is great. And then I hit numbers that he just did not understand. And then he rejected it. He was like, honey, this is not who we are as a family. And that was so hard and painful for me. And that was work that I had to do because I went above what was normal for my family. The way that my dad describes what I do, Hannah makes more money than is normal being Mystic Meg. That's how my father describes what I do, which has some reality, but it's not probably a very fair description, right? That was scary, right? Yeah, Jan says, I hear my mum say this all of the time. Most of us want to be good. Most of us want to be liked, right? Most of us want to be relatable. Most of us want to be connected. And so what do? We sacrifice our dreams subconsciously, right? Or we allow ourselves to have them a little bit, or we allow ourselves to have them, but we suffer lots. So we can say, but yes, Dad, Mum, I've got the dream, but look how stressed I am. Or yeah. An invisible fucking thread, right? An invisible thread could also be, if you don't work hard, you don't deserve it, right? We've got these contracts that are unseen with our family, and a big glass ceiling for people is breaking free from that. Number 2. Number 3 is, okay, are you ready, guys? I'm gonna go. We're out of the woo closet. We're fully out. We're talking about the things. I've taught this in private spaces, but I'm bringing it to you fucking guys now, okay? The reason that I'm bringing it is because consciousness is rising, so more and more people are feeling spirituality coming on board, but also, secondly, this is real. I can't pretend. Someone's at the door. I can't pretend. It could be my partner that's just got locked out with the dogs, which is not ideal. I'm going to continue teaching. If they keep ringing, I'll have to go, right? I can't pretend that this is not a thing anymore, right? So in our certification program, we talk about something called the soul's journey. And the soul's journey is basically the journey that you live from lives to life to life to life to life, right? And sometimes in our previous lives, we experience, it's my partner. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to get that. 1 second. Apologies. Working from home is an absolute treat. Can we agree? Let me continue, okay? So we experience moments of suffering in our past lives. For example, lots of people have got wounds around being seen, not because anything has happened in this lifetime, but because maybe they were very spiritual in a previous lifetime and they were ostracized. Or maybe they were persecuted, or maybe they were misunderstood. Can you guys hear me and see me again? Just want to make sure. Perfect. So we've got this imprinting, right? We've got this imprinting in our field, in our soul, that we need to purify, right? That says being seen is dangerous. That says if you make a lot of money, you're going to be corrupt and terrible, probably because you've had a life where you've been corrupt or terrible. Or maybe you've had a life where you've been one of the very, very poor people that have been treated terribly, right, by the wealthy. The reason that I say this to you and the reason that I have to speak to this now is because I have a lot of clients that have blocks that don't make sense for their lifetime. I have clients that say, I feel so much fear around being seen and it doesn't make sense. I feel so much fear about going viral, it doesn't make sense. I feel so much fear around losing all my money, it doesn't make sense. And so when we're clearing the invisible threads, I would be doing you a disservice if I just focus on what is commonly taught, right? Previous experiences and beliefs that you've got from them, beliefs passed down from your family, because there will be invisible threads that are holding you in that spider's web that don't make sense to you. I've had to do a lot of clearing around lives where I've been very spiritual and I've been ostracized, and I've had huge wounding around belonging, huge wounding around being different, huge wounding around being rejected for who I am. And a lot of you guys, this is the irony, a lot of you guys that are born to have big lives and are born to be seen have this wounding too. Because very often the gift can only be given when you clear the wound. The way that manifestation works from the level of the soul is that a soul that is fully enlightened is a soul that has it all. Our souls are on the pathway of having it all, aka being it all, right? And we receive more the more that we purify the soul. Sounds esoteric. What the fuck does that mean? It's these things, right? These things around clearing a past life wound, clearing these previous memories. Every time you do this, you take darkness from your energy field and you transmute it into light. It means that you allow more good in. Your soul becomes purified. Very often before a big up level, we experience a process of purification. And that purification are your patterns from this lifetime and others. What is the fourth thread? I wish I could go way deeper, but that's what I'm going to say. The fourth thread is ancestral imprinting. So ancestral imprinting and emotions are in the DNA. When you are born into a lineage, you're born into a family, you don't just get their genetic makeup, you can also get the emotions. And you can look at doctors like Dr. Bradley Nelson and they speak to this, right? So let's say you've got a family that lived in a huge amount of fear and anxiety. My God, my family, my upbringing was so much anxiety. That's literally passed down to you. It lives in your DNA. And so we have survival patterns in our body. And the survival patterns say, don't trust, don't relax. It might run out. Everything's going to run out. Or it's going to run out. That's the greatest human wound. And I have conversations with people that are multiple 8 figures and they're like, it could still run out. So it's clearly got nothing to do with money. It's got to do with wounding in your ancestry. And so the interesting thing is that yesterday we were talking about this shift in consciousness that is happening. Is that we're being invited to heal our bodies, to go, right, from scarcity, to go from fear, to go from survival, to actually living in abundance. But this is not a journey that we make from here. And this is why I say that this is an advanced class. Some of you guys may have heard this stuff before. You may have gone to Bob Proctor style stuff, right? Which is fucking awesome. But they'll say, you know, it's just clearing beliefs. And I've said it's just clearing beliefs. But the truth is, the limits, these invisible threads, they don't just exist here. And only working on here is the slowest way that you can create transformation. Your limits exist in your body. Your limits exist in your nervous system. The patterns of survival are in your nervous system. And they also exist in your energetic field, whether you can see it or not. The shamans would call blockages and heavy energy in your field hucha. Kabbalah calls it tikkun. Same thing, different word, but if you look at all ancient texts, they're telling us the same stories. So what we do differently in the Global Uni is that we work on limits from the neurological sense, so literal brain rewiring, from the energy body and the nervous system. Like I've mentioned, the slowest way to create change is through affirmations. I love affirmations, but it's fucking slow, right? When does the change happen? Through repetition. I still believe that we should practice awareness and practice, you know, our affirmations and things like that. But it's much, much easier to clear patterns. And this is what we teach in the school. We teach you different ways. And I'll explain what the school is and the Global Uni is tomorrow, okay? There are instant and permanent ways that you can clear past life, that you can clear ancestral patterns, that you can clear things that have been limiting you for your whole lifetime. Over the last couple of weeks, we've done a program which is called the Energetic Accelerator, right? In the Energetic Accelerator, just in 2 weeks, we cleared blocks around savings, blocks around holding more money, blocks around feeling that you do enough and therefore are enough, blocks around guilt and success, and all the things that you guys have been thrown in here, right? But also self-trust. The work that we do in these containers, in these groups, in these spaces, isn't just like you come and you listen to me speak, which has its place, right? Because I believe that we have to understand theory, because we have to understand theory to have the awareness of how this works, so we can have awareness of ourselves living in our life. But we also need tools. I said to Tams, I'm so grateful as the world is changing and all of this is happening that I've got the tools. And some of you guys might feel this way as well, right? But we teach you the tools to actually create change. And we don't just work from the mind. We work from the body, the mind, and the energy body. Quick story, because I'm aware of time. Like I said, 2 types of people. Maybe it's not that clear cut. 2 things can happen. If these invisible threads have got you in this spider's web, what's actually going to happen is you're going to block momentum. So you never really get going, right? Hildegard says, love this work, the tools are so powerful, right? So you're blocked. You never really get going. You're always on this perpetual chase for more and you never arrive, right? What happened to me was equally powerful, slightly more uncomfortable. And that was, I manifested a result that, yes, I believed it was true because I did this work, but it was still felt so foreign to where I'd come from. that I literally manifested all of my worst case scenarios. Not all of them. Yeah, probably a really fucking good chunk of them. So early 2023, like I mentioned yesterday, I hit 7 figures total revenue. And everything that had been lurking in my subconscious mind, right, started being manifested in my life. Got a hate page. Got blackmailed. Got blackmailed twice. Because people, first time I got blackmailed was an old client from very, very long time ago that wanted money, and she threatened me saying that if I didn't give her a lump sum of money that she would release all of my old programs and text all of my influencers, all my followers, something. The second time I got blackmailed was when I was on TV in Spain, and this it was a lady that we'd rented a property from, and she said, if you don't buy me a new set of leather chairs, I will ruin your image in Marbella. I have a rule, though, I don't negotiate with terrorists, so I didn't give either of them what they wanted. But this was very, very frightening for me. And I realised I had so many patterns that said, if you allow yourself to be successful, you'll be ostracised. If you allow yourself to have money, you won't be safe. This was such a huge one for me. If you don't allow yourself, if you allow yourself to be that wealthy, and this was a big thing from my father, you'll get rejected, no one will understand you, you'll lose all your friendships, and then you won't be safe, because my father would always say, the more money that you have, the bigger the problems you have. And when it comes from your dad and a little girl, you go, oh, that makes sense. Until I started having lots of problems. It took me a fucking chunk of time to realise, right, that all of these things that were happening in my life, and there were other things, so I'm not going to fucking bore you with them or bore myself with them because they're already done, right? I'll talk about them if they come up in other situations, right? It took me a chunk of time to realise these have been your biggest financial blocks. It's like Melanie said on the Top One call today, she goes, I realised my biggest block was something that had got nothing to do with money, but it impacted money, right? I realised that my biggest blocks with money were around belonging and being seen and safety and responsibility, right? And I had to manifest the worst case scenario to set me free. Some of you guys that are terrified of losing it all will lose it all, just so you can realise that you survived, and then you can be free. It's how consciousness works. The thing is, you don't have to manifest it to see it. You can do the work to clear it before. You can listen to your body when it tells you there's a block here, there's something here. And that's again why I'm going to speak about body-based business tomorrow. So there's 2 paths, and you'll probably experience a bit of both of it. Momentum is slow, right? Because there's invisible threads. Oh, when I cut the threads, I move forward. The second path will be, oh my God, I've hit this new level. And suddenly all of these things are happening out of my control and I feel bad. What's happening, which I wish I fucking understood at the time, so I'll tell you, is that your consciousness had all of these programs, these threads telling you that if you get these things, these bad things will happen. And so they do. But it doesn't mean, and this is what people do, and this is what I did, they're like, I don't want to feel that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dream less. I'm going to hide. I'm going to stop being bold. I'm going to go, say that I'm going to off to integrate, whatever that fuck that means, because life is in momentum, right? That's what we say when we're scared, when we felt pain when we've received what we've wanted. The work then is the clearing. Right? You can't outrun your stuff. There is no amount of money that you can make that will heal an inner wound. There is no amount of sex and validation, right, that will make you love yourself if you don't. There is no amount of success and being seen and proving how intelligent you are going to fill a wound that is internal. And so if you want to be successful internally and externally, then it's a two-way road. And this is what we teach in the Global Uni. The first road is creating the success externally, like we've talked about that. You've got to build skills, you've got to be in, you've got to do fucking shit. I'm not going to go into it, you guys know, right? But the second path is the path that's walked less often, which you guys are clearly walking, because if not, you wouldn't be here, right? And that's the pathway of dissolving, how do I say this? Dissolving everything that is not you. That is so open and broad, I know and I understand. But that fear that you'll be rejected when you become wealthy, not you. That fear that if you get what you want, you're not going to have a reason to do things, not you. These are all frequency fields that you've merged with because of experiences, because of ancestry, because of past lives, right? And because of your family environment, but they're not who you are. And so inner fulfillment is dissolving all of these things that have kept us internally stuck, internally unsatisfied, internally with holes. The beautiful thing is that when you are on an internal journey of well-being and an external journey of creating the life that you want, the byproduct is that you get to have the things which we all love, but you get to enjoy it. You get to have the healthy body, because I've got to burn out for success is just a frequency field. It's just an invisible fucking thread. I could tell you it's this way more complex thing that only I know how to heal, so come work with me, but that wouldn't be fucking true. It's a thread. It's a program. That's it. That's all it is. It's a virus. You can clear it. It's very, very easy. Because we have this idea that healing is complicated. It's not. Right? Peel back the shell to, release the soul's call. Some of you guys will have a deep fear of knowing yourself beyond the limitation, beyond the confines that you've thought is true for you. Zoe is saying, loving this, so interesting. Thank you. You're so welcome. 2 things, and we'll finish in a couple of minutes. I'm going to be speaking to ways that we can work together. More tomorrow. I'm going to share a little bit today. Now, many of you guys know that we do a lot of our marketing through free events, which this is. We do our marketing through free events, and also I believe in this work, I believe in teaching this work, so the free events are kind of like a give back piece for me as well. It's twofold, right? Some of you guys will join, some of you won't. That's cool. But what we always do when we do free events is that I release a set of bonuses, right? And this set of bonuses is for people that move now. Because I know how easy it is to get into that shell and be scared and come up with every reason to not move, right? I also know some of you guys are really fucking great buyers. I tell my clients of things that I purchase with no emotional weight, just to like help them calibrate. Sometimes I was speaking to Samantha about this, about like sometimes I just go shopping and I drop $1,000 before breakfast, right? And I'm not saying that to show off, I'm saying that to de-shame spending money. We've got so much stuff around spending money. And so we do bonuses twofold. The first reason that we do it is because it invites you into momentum. It's exciting. The second reason that we do it is because I fucking love bonuses. I love buying things and getting something extra. When I go to a designer store and they're like, oh my God, you've been such a great client. Let me give you this little necklace. Let me give you this little purse. Let me invite you to this party for our best clients. Oh, I'm just going to give you this bag from the Christmas collection. Do you know how I feel? Excited, lucky, belonging, loved. I love it. I love it. I love receiving gifts and I like giving gifts, especially for those of you that move now. Some of you will move later and that's absolutely fine. But for those of you guys that are like, actually, I don't need to even really understand what the Global Uni is. You're feeling it in your body and I will explain it, okay? I will explain it. It's just we've started with training. You're like, I just know that Hannah holds something that is going to be beneficial for me. And some of you guys will be feeling that already. 2 things that we're doing for anyone that joins a long-term product, which is the Global University, right, of Integrative Healing, which is our main membership, 15K investment, We've also got the Power Healer certification, which I will explain to you what's happening with that as well. For those of you guys that want to certify with me in these clearing modalities, so you can rebirth yourself, but also create transformation in others. Because I know some of you guys know that you're here to be this work, right? And so that's a very good option for you. We've also got the Top 1% Club, right? And the Top 1% Club is my highest performing individual. Those of you guys that are just like fucking blowing shit up in the best way, right? For those of you that have got massive, massive dreams, you're already doing massive things, you're already really brave, and you want to be in a tight-knit, intimate community where there is masterminding, there's hot seat healing with me, there are luxury trips in Morocco and Marbella, right? So there's 3 options. The thing that we're doing is that if you join before the end of the month, I think the deadline is the 30th, is that we're going to give you a bundle of courses. Now this bundle is worth just over 4K. It's Love and Money, which is our relationship program. It's very different to the course that you're doing here with me, because I'm going to give you the blueprint and I'm going to give you the tools. And the way that each program works is that you use it like a toolkit, right? You use it like, oh, this is coming up for me, I'm going to go do this process or practice, or this keeps happening in my marriage, right? I don't understand it. Oh, let me go understand the theory. Okay, now I understand what's happening in my marriage and therefore what to do with it. So it's always going to be a mix of theory and then the tools to deal with whatever is coming up. So Love and Money is your IH blueprint for love, but not just love and money, rising in love and money, right? Success that nurtures love and love that nurtures success, which is appropriate whether you're single, married, or in a relationship, okay? You'll also get the Energetic Accelerator, which is basically like going through a car wash for 2 weeks, and I'm there with a hose, and we're just blasting all of these invisible threads away in all the topics that I've already mentioned. The other course is the social media technique, which we need to rename, because even though it does teach you social media, it really teaches you your wealth blueprint, your unique shadows, your unique gifts, right? We will rename that at some point. We haven't now. And I'll explain that more tomorrow when we talk about the body and the blueprint, okay? So you get this bundle when you join, and it's a really good time to join the Global Uni, because next month we're doing MDB 2, which is basically the multidimensional business system, but all around high ticket sales. So I will teach you practically how to sell high ticket, but we'll also clear up all of these little webby pieces that we've brought to our awareness today, because high ticket sales in itself can bring up stuff for us. Who am I to charge this? No one's actually going to pay for this. What are my family going to say if they see me, charging this? So that's the program next month. And like I said, the programs, the intensives, they're these toolkits, right? So anyone that joins any long-term program, and this is really explained in the emails, will get this bundle of courses for free. Even though they are old courses and they're not part of the membership going forward, you still will get them, because I know it will make a big difference to you. Oh, I'm going to do something very exciting for those of you guys that pay in full, because I'm in this energy of like, we're in a new fucking era and I'm ready to go. And so for those of you guys that are like, I see that and I want to go with you, and you're the person for me, you're the coach for me, whatever language you want to use. I don't really use the word coach, maybe mentor, I'm unsure. Human being, right? If you join the Global Uni and you pay in full, you get 3 months of one-to-one with me. So 3 sessions where I will support you in your healing process or unblocking process or clear things for you. If you join the top 1 and you pay in full, you get 12 months of one-to-one with me included, complimentary, which is fucking insane. I'm going to share more about this tomorrow, but now you guys know. You can talk to Tamsin if you're interested in anything that I've said. Tomorrow is a full teaching session on the body, on the blueprint. Then we're going to really go into the ways that we can continue on Friday, but we'll also be talking about frequency and strategy, and there's still going to be some value there for you. Sunday, we've got a couple of clients coming on to share their experience, and Monday we're going to be doing the Terror Barrier, right, with the new edition, with the understandings that I've got now that I didn't used to have. So that's equally exciting. Is there anything else that I have to say practically? I think that's everything. That's what I had to share today. I'm very, very excited for tomorrow. I'm very, very excited. We've already welcomed 2 people in from yesterday. So if you're already feeling the call, just message me, message Tamsin. Tamsin's going to be support coaching. This is the final thing that I wanted to say. The certification, the doors are shut, okay? We're not going to be redoing the certification, opening the doors until the next 3 months, but there are ways that you can get on the wait list and lock in the price from now. That's in emails. I'll discuss that as we go forward. If you are a returning client and you've done some form of long-term program with us before, our ambassador rates end this month. We're never doing them again. So, okay, for some of you guys that's going to mean nothing, but for some of you guys that is going to mean something. Act accordingly. If you want to get in with an ambassador rate, now is literally the time, because we are not doing it moving forward. Okay. Ciao, ciao.